Today we're going to have a bit of a closer look at why computers use binary to store their information. And it starts off with looking at the hard drive. Now there are two kinds of hard drive that are commonly used in computers. You've got a hard disk drive that's got a disk inside of it, like the one you can see in the picture here, and you can have solid state. Now solid state doesn't have a disk, it has no moving parts, it's a bit more like a memory stick, but they both work in the similar way. What they actually do is they store two electrical values. You have a high value and a low value. And what we do is we give them the names 1 and 0. So a high value is 1 and a low value is 0. And these high values can be saved and stored even when your computer goes off on your hard drive. So actually, binary comes from the fact that our hard drives can only store two values. The high electrical value and the low electrical value. Now, we know that binary can store letters, and we've done numbers, and in fact we can even convert binary ourselves from binary into letters and numbers, which is amazing. But actually, when you've got a Word file and you click save, what happens is the computer then has to convert all of that from the Word file you see on screen into a binary code that can be stored on the hard drive, and that is done by the CPU, the central processing unit, which is the brain of the computer, which is really quick at doing calculations, so it can save these things into binary really quickly. Then it gets written to the disk on the hard drive. The same thing is true of a picture. When you click save on a picture, your CPU is going to convert that into binary and then pass that information on to the hard drive to be stored as those high and low values on the disk. In fact, any file, if you save a file to your computer, it's got to be converted by your CPU into ones and zeros so that it can be stored on that hard drive. So the CPU is really important in this process of turning information on your computer into binary that is stored. Now what I'm going to be asking you to do today is I'm going to ask you to write your own explanation text for binary information, how it's stored and why it's used. So what I've got here is a bit of a waggle of why computers use binary, and I'm going to read it for you now. You might want to take some notes because there's information in here that you'll want to use in your explanation text. Okay. How computers save files in binary. Saving files on a computer is a regular part of everyday life. Saved files on a computer are stored permanently even when we turn off the machine. But how does this happen? How does computer memory store this data? What language does the computer use to remember this information? Saving a file. As a file is created on a computer, for example a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation, information is being created. Each letter or image in our document is a new piece of information that will need to be stored when the file is saved. When the file is ready to be saved by the user, they simply click on the save icon or select save in the file menu. This starts a process within the computer which ultimately leads to the file being permanently stored in the computer's main memory. Converting the file. When a file is saved by a computer, it must be stored in binary. This is because the computer's hard drive can only store ones and zeros. As a result, all files are converted before they're permanently stored inside the computer. The central processing unit, CPU, sometimes called the brain of the computer, takes the file being saved and converts it into ones and zeros, binary code. The computer uses a pre-made set of rules to store different types of information as binary. Storing the information in main memory. Once the file has been converted by the central processing unit, it's ready to be stored in the computer's main memory, the hard drive. The hard drive can only store information as binary code. The binary of the files is saved on a disk, which stores the information magnetically. The information is written on the disk by a mechanical arm called the read-write arm. The read-write arm holds a powerful magnet that can alter the information stored on the hard drive disk. As the information is stored on the hard drive disk magnetically, it retains that data even when the power is removed from the computer. A hard drive can only store a certain number of binary digits, and once that limit has been reached, some files will need to be deleted before new documents can be saved. A binary revolution. With computers all around us, such as smartphones, smart TVs, tablets, laptops and PCs, binary information has become a vital part of the information age. Okay, so that was your example. Our learning intention today is looking to understand that computers transfer all data in binary, real focus on binary. And here are your success criteria. So bronze, create a diagram explaining how files are stored in binary. So that's your bronze task. Silver, create a diagram with captions explaining how files are stored in binary. Gold, write an explanation text explaining how computers store files. And the challenge is explain how text and numbers can be stored by the same binary digits. Okay, your vocab for today is binary, file, hard drive, and digit. And you can decide which challenge you want to go for first. So you might decide that you're going to go straight into the gold. You might decide that you want to start off at bronze or silver and then move on to gold. But then you can always go on to the challenge as well. Best of luck, and I will see you all soon.